And on the phone, we got Joe DiBiase from Fate's Warning, and maybe he can shed some light on this show coming up at the Kit Festival. Joe, how you doing?
I'm okay, John. Thanks for having me. Hello to everybody.
Cool, cool. My pleasure. Joe, you were there at the inception of Fate's Warning. You were part of the first 7 albums, and in most fans' opinions, it was the third album, Awaken the Guardian, that was the guiding light or the cornerstone of emergence of the progressive metal genre. You know, Fates did it first, before Queensryche, before Dream Theater. What was the mindset going into the writing of Awaken the Guardian? And by that I mean, did you guys set out to make a monumental album? Or, you know, was that just a natural progression from the first 2 albums?
Yeah, it was definitely just a natural progression. Our first couple albums were more just pretty much straight ahead heavy metal type, you know, new wave of British heavy metal type metal, you know, Maiden. We're influenced big by actually Merciful Fate, Loudness, a couple of those types of bands on the first couple records. And on the third album, Awaken the Guardian, we brought in Frank, which gave us a little different dimension. And you know, we didn't set out to do anything. We never did. We just kind of started out writing, and however it turned out, it turned out. But it was definitely a progression from straight ahead heavy metal stuff to a little more progressive stuff. You know, we were just more experienced. We a little more used to playing with each other, and it was just a natural progression, like you said.
Okay, yeah, I think it was, you know, pretty monumental for the people that were listening, though. But, you know, this is not the first time you've been involved with a Fates Warning reunion. You also toured the Parallels reunion as well with Ray and Mark. How did it feel getting back in the saddle with Fates again after so long, and how do you feel about this new reunion for the anniversary of Awaken the Guardian?
Well, yeah, that Parallels reunion, that was about 4 years ago now. We're going on 4 years. That was a lot of fun. It felt really great to get back together with everybody. That was actually probably my favorite Fates Warning album. Looking back, was Parallels. But it felt really good. I really haven't had too much contact with the guys over those years, and to get back and play and do a bunch of shows in Europe and do a bunch of shows in the States was great. You know, back in the day, I partied quite a bit. In fact, you know, along the way, I stopped drinking about 5, 6 years ago, and it was great to go to all these cities and meet all the fans and actually remember it, which was a little different. So it was great to do it with a clear mind and different attitude than I had in the past. But that was really cool, and we got along much better on account of that too. By the way, we're all pretty much mellowed out and grown up by now. So that was really cool. We got along great, and it got it out of my system because, you know, for years I don't want to say I had regrets, but you know, it's common, I guess, to look back and say, man, maybe I shouldn't have stopped doing that, and so forth, and kind of question your motives back then. But it was really great to get it out of my system after all those years. And at the time, I thought that was probably pretty much it. I did it. I got it out of my system. It was a one-time thing. And I didn't really see anything in the future viable, you know, to go out with them guys again. And then Jim contacted me about 3 months ago and said, hey, if anything were to happen on the 30th anniversary for Awaken the Guardian, would you be interested? I'm just kind of gauging everybody, you know, gauging everybody's feelings. I said, yeah, I'd be into it. And, he contacted Steve, which that's a pretty monumental happening right there because they haven't really talked in years. So he contacted Steve. Of course, Steve said he'd do it, which is, I'm glad he is, because I've seen Steve over the years because he still lives in Connecticut here with where I live. And he's in a couple of bands that are doing some shows around the area, and my son is in a band in Connecticut. And they did a few shows together, actually, which is really cool. Did a few shows with Vic Arduini's band also, which is also cool.
Yeah, that's just The Oath, right?
Yeah, my son's band is Oath now. They used to be Oath of Insanity, and they've kind of changed direction a bit, and they're now called Oath, and they're working on their debut album now. They did a couple of videos, and they're going to be coming out in the scene soon. but it was cool for them to play with, you know, my old bandmates. It was pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, we gauged everybody's, Jim was gauging everybody's interest. And I think the hardest one might have been John Arch, you know. He's not really comfortable, you know, with the whole being in the spotlight thing, and I think he was kind of glad the Arch Matthias thing was over and done with, but he agreed to do it too. And Frank also, he's out in California. He's got a, you know, family out there now and a full-time gig and a regular job. But he agreed to do it also. So we all agreed to do it. And the next step was figuring out if anyone was going to be interested. And Keep It True Festival was very interested, so we jumped at the chance, actually.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good show for you guys. I know there's a lot of Fates fans out there that want to see the old stuff. You know, there's some diehard classic Fates fans out there. But, you know, looking into the future, 2016 in particular, do you see this reunion as a one-off show for Keep It True, or is there a possibility of more dates, and do you think there may be any U.S. shows?
Yeah. Well, we really haven't sat down and talked about anything as a group, which is all our contact up to this point has mostly been emails and texts. So we haven't really planned out too much other than to Keep It True, but I can't imagine that we'd go through all this rehearsing and flying to meet somewhere to rehearse and getting all this stuff together and only do one show. Like I said, we haven't talked about it, but just I can't imagine. We can only do one show in Europe, at least in that time frame, because we guaranteed them it was going to be an exclusive European show, the Keep It True Festival. But I can't imagine we're not going to at least do a show here in our home state of Connecticut or somewhere thereabouts. I don't think it's going to lead to a long-term tour or anything like that. But you never know. But I think maybe there'll be a show in Connecticut and maybe a show on the West Coast. I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head. But if you put a gun to my head now, I'd say do at least one U.S. show.
That would be great. I'm sure a lot of people would love that. I know a lot of people would love to have a DVD of the Keep It True show, too. Has that been an idea that's been tossed around at all?
And I thought about that. It'd be crazy not to.
You know, that's a moment in history there.
Yeah, I mean, for Fates fans, absolutely. I don't know how that would work. We definitely want to do it. But we wouldn't want to do a cheesy one, which would mean we'd need some kind of backing to pay for a quality DVD. But it's something that I think we'll probably discuss. Other people have mentioned that to me, and it's a great idea. I'm kind of sorry we didn't do it for the Parallels reunion, because that actually was really good. There were really good shows in Europe and the U.S. I wish somebody got a quality DVD of one of those shows, but that came together a little quicker, the Parallels thing, and we didn't have time to get a backer to put together a quality DVD for us. So maybe this time having a little more time, almost damn near a year and a half actually, to get ready for this one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that we'll have enough time to get together, put something like that together, which would be great.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, you mentioned your son and his band, and I know that you have a Thin Lizzy cover band. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been idle for a while because we lost our singer. But yeah, me and my son and a couple of friends of his and a couple of friends of mine got together. We actually, I had this going years ago, 12, 15 years ago, with some of the same guys and a couple of different fellas. We recently got it back together a couple of years ago. It's called Blue Orphanage, and it was a Thin Lizzy tribute band, yeah, because that's my and my son's favorite band. And we get a couple other guys that were huge Thin Lizzy fans, and we did a few local shows just for fun. It was all a fun thing. We used to get together on the anniversary of Phil Lynotte's birthday or the anniversary of his death. And there's something that they used to have in New York called The Vibe, which is, actually, I'm not sure when the show is airing, but tomorrow would be the January 4th as we speak here, and that's going to be the anniversary of Phil's death. And there's a huge concert in Ireland called The Vibe for Philo. And we had a little miniature one here in Yonkers, New York, about 4 or 5 different bands would get together every year around this time of year and do a Thin Lizzy set. It was a blast. It was really good. So we got it back together. My son played drums. A couple old friends of mine, and one of the other fellas in Oath ended up playing the guitar player at the end. And yeah, we had a ball. We had a ball. My son's a really good drummer, so it's actually a pleasure to play with him.
Yeah, I heard one of their songs. I think they put a video up on Facebook or something, or YouTube or something. I have seen one of them.
Yeah, a couple of months ago they put their first video up. So
pretty heavy stuff.
It's heavy. Yeah, it's really heavy. It's great. I mean, they practice at my house. They rehearse at my house, so I get to hear all the songs from beginning to end. You know, in the creation. And I went in the studio, with them just to kind of hang out with them at the studio and watch them do it. It was a lot of fun, and helped out with the videos. And I'm really proud of my kid. It's really good stuff. They're very good, but might be a little heavy for some of the older Fates fans, but it's pretty cool.
Right. Now, do you have any plans to do any recording at all in the future? Zimmerman's got Enemy Remains. I don't know how long they're going to continue, or even if he's still with him at all. But he had Enemy Remains in 2012, and of course, Victor with Freedom's Reign. Do you have any plans to record any new music?
No, not really. I've been asked by a few different people over the last few years to put a project together or to help out in the studio, and I just don't really have the wherewithal. I don't know. Hard to put a description on it, but I just don't really have the urge to do it anymore. It's cool to get together with the Fates guys every 3 or 4 years, like this. But I mean, I play, just in my room here. I pick up the bass every now and then just to screw around. But I really don't have any grand illusions to go out there and do anything again, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, one other question I've got to ask you, Joe. Did they start calling you Bones because you said "damn it, Jim" a lot at band rehearsals?
I never heard that one. It's pretty cool, though. I guess, I don't know, I think it's because I used to be skinny, which I'm not anymore, although I have lost about 20 pounds this year. But I used to be really skinny, and I may have smoked a few bones in my day, too. So, started off calling me Bones. But yeah, the name has stuck, and I have a whole different group of people that call me Bones now besides the old Fates group, so it's funny. The name's stuck for 30 years. But I don't think it has anything to do with our Star Trek, though.
Okay. Well, we'll just call you Joe or Mike White from now on.
Yeah. Call me anything you want.
All right, Joe. I appreciate you calling in, man. It's really great talking to you. And
my pleasure, man. And like I hope that we do a U.S. show for all the U.S. fans, and we look forward to whatever happens. Thanks, appreciate you having me on.
You bet, man. And let's do another classic Fates warning. This is from The Spectre Within. What's the name of this one, Bones?